I was watching one of my favorite Ghibli movies, Whisper of the Heart, and the character said something that really resonated with me and that made me feel called to bring this message to them. You don't have to wait till you have your life together in order to fall in love. I feel like the collective that resonates with these readings are people that feel like that have been led to a healing journey, self-improvement journey. But the thing is, when you're on this journey, you can quickly believe that in order to have certain things, you have to be so sure of your healing. And the thing is, you will never get a guaranteed confirmation that yes, you've done the job. You know what I mean? Because as human beings, like we are just created to never reach perfection. You know what I mean? And it's very easy that in order to get certain things, you have to reach this level of perfection. And one of those things is romantic love. I'm getting that you may notice you feel like you never feel like you're ready, or you always doubt that you are ready enough for a relationship. And this is because you may have made terrible choices when it comes to this department, and you're afraid of making those mistakes. You may have been putting pressure on you or on your next relationship to be the standard relationship, the healthiest relationship ever. And I'm getting that based off your experience, it is guaranteed that the next relationship you will have will probably be the healthiest. But there is no guarantee that this will be a forever person. You know what I mean? That's just life. So I'm getting you may be using your journey as a way to avoid making the same mistakes. Okay? This is actually sad because I'm getting that this kind of collective are people that are very kind-hearted, very loving, and you deserve to experience the joys of being in love. And you may be shooting yourself in the foot over here by closing yourself off because you feel like you have to reach this pinnacle of healing in order to be worthy of romantic love. I'm getting that you may be feeling resentful sometimes because you watch people who are toxic, who like who have very low vibrational mentality be in relationships, and you're like, and it's not because you think you're better than them, but it's like you feel like you've done a lot of work but you don't have one of the things that you really want, which is a romantic love. You know what I mean? And I'm getting that you should let go of feeling like, or the limiting belief that romantic love is some weakness, because this is a mindset that you have maybe picked up along the way, where you feel like because you want at your best when you are in romantic relationships, you may have the idea that once you get in a relationship, you will not be your best. It will bring you down. It will slow you down. It will slow your journey down. But God, Spirit wants you to know that a romantic relationship is not supposed to be your something that slows you down. You may have allowed that in the past, but that won't happen in the future relationships because you are in a better headspace. You know what I mean? Also, your resentment is actually natural because you may have applied the grinder mindset in your romantic relationship department, where you feel like you have to do a certain amount of healing work, then you will get rewarded with a relationship. But that's not how God works. That's not how the universe works. A relationship, love, is not supposed to be a reward for at the end of your healing journey. And I feel like you should examine the intentions behind your healing journey, okay? And I feel like many of you will realize that part of your motivation was the thought of being rewarded with a healthy, relationship. That's not the case, and there is no shame with wanting a relationship. And God wants you to know that relationships are not rewards, but are mirrors to reflect the things that you may not necessarily see for yourself. And that will help you be better. That's why a relationship should make you better, because it reflects to you, some of the things that you may be oblivious to, and will bring those to attention and help you improve. This is why, like, isolation, I know, like, in spirituality, in healing, isolation can be romanticized, because when you're isolated, you get to work on yourself, yada yada. But there is a phase where you have to get out of isolation and form connections with other people, whether it's friendship, relationships, anything, because relationships, all type of relationships, are mirrors, and they help us, it's like another phase of healing where you get to see things you wouldn't have been aware of in isolation. Because in isolation, yes, you get to work through stuff without any distractions, but the thing is, at some point, you may start to feel like, okay, you're done healing, because there is no one to trigger you. There's no one to compromise for. There's no one to, to communicate with. So I think that's another thing you need to get out of your mind, is the fact that connections with other people means that you're slowing down, or you don't get to, you are distracted away from your healing journey. Healing spirituality doesn't mean sitting in one room and be a hermit and just solely focus on this thing. God is calling you to live life and to learn as you live, not isolate and concentrate on learning. No, you live and along the way you learn. So you need to break away from that thinking, and yeah, and I feel like God just wants to teach you that you are deserving of love, you are worthy of love, even if you are not your ideal self. And I think it's because in your early life you may have felt like you did not receive the love that you were supposed to get because there was something wrong with you. And so this may have propelled you on this spiritual healing journey. But the thing is, that is a limiting belief, even though it has led you to the right path. But there's a limiting belief that you still need to shake off. The fact that you have to fix something about yourself to be deserving of something. Love is not about deserving and striving so that you can be rewarded with it. We are all worthy of it, and I feel like spirit is telling me that you, like, God will slowly ease you out of this mindset, starting off with not that these are not important relationships, but they're definitely lower stakes than a romantic relationship. It will start off with like small talks with strangers, building friendships, and then you can get to the point where you get a relationship. The point is to ease you into being used to being part of a community, because I get you've been in isolation for so long. So yeah, God will slowly ease you into connections, and your only job is to be open. Your only job is to be open. And when that relationship comes, be very aware of your initial raw authentic thoughts. You may think, damn, I don't have a job yet, I don't have that degree yet, I'm not fit yet, I don't have my dream body yet, I don't have my dream place yet, I don't have this amount of money yet, I don't live, I'm not out of this home situation yet. You may think of all these things that are supposed to disqualify you from getting this relationship. Do not fight these feelings, write them down, and let the paper reflect that back to you. So the thing is, you don't have to act like you don't feel like this, but just be curious about it. So just think about it, like, why do I feel like I don't deserve a relationship just because I'm not this and this and this and this yet? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's easy to blame God and the universe and say, why can't I have a relationship? Why don't I have a relationship? But think, what is this reflecting about me? Am I open enough? You know, when people approach me, when people, are flirting with me, when I can sense that someone likes me that way, do I instantly reject myself and say, no, I'm not really ready for this because da 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 da, you know? So, yeah, you don't be comforted and by this. You are not, you don't have to be at a certain level to be deserving of a relationship. And the people that you may resent because they are in relationships, but they are nowhere near you in terms of healing and spirituality. Those, do not look at those people with resentful eyes anymore. And even though they may possess low vibrational energy, they may be toxic, they can actually hold a lesson or a gem that you need to learn from them. Because you don't only learn from people who are healed, you can learn from the unhealed people as well. Good lessons as well. So unlike you, they may be more open to relationships. They may hold the belief that they are worthy of it. They deserve this relationship. They may believe that they don't have to be perfect in order to have a relationship, you know. So instead of judging the fact that, oh, they're not supposed to be in a relationship because they're not healthy, look at what makes them so open to be in relationships. What beliefs do they hold, um yeah, that's the word of today. Yeah, and I definitely recommend Whisper of the Heart by Studio Ghibli.